The year is 2026. An AI system has fed thousands of ancient texts, lost manuscripts, encrypted predictions, and one name keeps appearing again and again: Nostradamus. At first, researchers thought it was just another internet conspiracy. But then the AI started connecting patterns nobody had seen before. Dates, symbols, wars, disasters, leaders, predictions written nearly 500 years ago, matching events happening right now. And then the AI found something disturbing. One final prophecy. A prophecy many believe Nostradamus intentionally hid from the world. And according to the AI, it may describe the final turning point of humanity itself. But before we get into that, you need to understand who Nostradamus really was. Because the truth is far stranger than people think. Most people know him as a fortune teller. But in the 1500s, Michel de Nostradamus wasn't famous for predicting the future. He was a doctor, a man who lived during one of the darkest periods in human history. The Black Death. Entire cities wiped out. Bodies stacked in the streets. Fear everywhere. And somehow, Nostradamus survived. Not only did he survive, people believed he could see things others couldn't. He began writing cryptic verses known as the quatrains. Short poems filled with symbols, hidden meanings, strange metaphors. Over 900 predictions. And this is where things get creepy. Because over the centuries, people started connecting his writings to real events. The Great Fire of London, the rise of Hitler, world wars, the moon landing, 9/11. Coincidence? Maybe. But the more patterns people found, the harder it became to ignore. Now here's where the story changes completely. In 2025, an independent AI research team decided to do something no human had ever done before. Instead of reading Nostradamus traditionally, they trained an AI model to analyze every line statistically, every symbol, every repeated phrase, every hidden historical reference. The AI compared Nostradamus' writings against thousands of world events across 500 years. And what it discovered shocked the researchers. The writings didn't appear random. The AI detected recurring predictive structures, almost like Nostradamus was encoding timelines. And one sequence stood out more than any other, a sequence connected to a great transformation. At first, researchers dismissed it, until the AI began linking it to current global events happening right now. Economic instability, artificial intelligence, climate disasters, global conflict, social division. The AI concluded that multiple prophecies pointed toward one specific era, our era. And then it translated a passage many believe contains Nostradamus' final warning. The verse described a metal mind awakening without soul, humanity surrendering truth for comfort, and a sky burning before the great silence. Researchers froze, because this was written nearly 500 years before artificial intelligence even existed. Now, obviously, skeptics say it's vague, that humans always reinterpret old text to fit modern events. But then the AI found something else. A hidden pattern inside multiple quatrains. Coordinates. Not literal coordinates, but symbolic alignments tied to dates. And one date appeared repeatedly. This year. That's when the internet exploded. Videos everywhere. People claiming the end was near. Others saying AI had unlocked a hidden code buried for centuries. But what exactly was Nostradamus predicting? According to the AI reconstruction, humanity reaches a point where reality itself becomes difficult to trust. Deepfakes, synthetic voices, AI-generated governments, digital identities, a world where nobody knows what's real anymore. And honestly, look around. We're already seeing it happen. Every day, AI becomes more powerful, more realistic, more convincing. Soon, a video won't be proof. Audio won't be proof. Even your own eyes may not be proof. And Nostradamus may have predicted this centuries ago. But the prophecy gets darker. The AI interpretation mentions a great division among mankind. Not countries, not religions, reality itself. Two groups of people. One embracing artificial systems completely, the other rejecting them entirely. A technological civil war, not fought with weapons, but with information, control, belief. And if that sounds insane, remember something. The world changes faster today than at any point in history. 10 years ago, AI could barely generate sentences. Now it can clone voices, create movies, write code, imitate humans. So imagine 10 years from now. That's what terrifies people about this prophecy. Not because it guarantees disaster, but because it feels possible. And then the AI uncovered what may be the most chilling line of all. It translated one verse into, "When mankind creates a mind greater than itself, the old world ends." That sentence alone sparked millions of views online. Some called it fake, others called it genius. But the fear spread fast, because humanity has always feared one thing more than anything else: losing control. And AI might be the first invention in history that humans cannot fully predict. Even top scientists admit it. Once systems become powerful enough, they may evolve faster than human understanding. Exactly the kind of thing Nostradamus would describe as a mind without soul. But here's the twist nobody talks about. What if the prophecy isn't warning us about AI? What if it's warning us about ourselves? Think about it. Technology doesn't create human greed. It amplifies it. It doesn't create lies. It spreads them faster. Maybe the real danger was never the machine. Maybe it's humanity handing over responsibility. And that idea changes everything. Because suddenly, Nostradamus' prophecy becomes less about apocalypse and more about choice, a warning, a crossroads. And history shows humanity often ignores warnings until it's too late. The Roman Empire ignored corruption. Civilizations ignored collapse. Societies ignored division. Until suddenly, everything changed. Could we be doing the same thing right now? That's the question millions are asking after the AI analysis went viral. Some researchers even claim the final prophecy may describe a massive global event tied to the sky itself, a celestial anomaly, a solar event, a fire in the heavens. And strangely, ancient civilizations across history also spoke about similar events. The Maya, the Egyptians, even biblical texts, different cultures, same warning. That's what makes this story so addictive. Nobody knows where myth ends and reality begins. But whether Nostradamus truly predicted the future or not, one thing is undeniable. Humanity is entering a completely new era, an era where AI changes everything. Work, truth, relationships, power. And maybe that's why this prophecy feels so real to people. Because for the first time in history, the future feels uncertain to everyone, even experts. And maybe that uncertainty is exactly what Nostradamus saw. Not the end of the world. The end of the world as we know it. But before you dismiss all of this as fantasy, remember something terrifying. Nearly every major prediction throughout history sounded ridiculous before it happened. The internet, space travel, artificial intelligence itself. Impossible until suddenly they were real. So the question is no longer, did Nostradamus predict the future? The real question is, are we accidentally creating the future he warned us about? And if we are, how close are we to the final prophecy becoming reality? Because according to the AI, the countdown may have already begun. But there's one final detail the AI researchers almost refuse to release. A passage so disturbing, they believe publishing it could cause mass panic online. According to leaked reports, the final sequence of Nostradamus' writings doesn't end with destruction. It ends with silence, not explosions, not war, silence. The AI interpreted this as a moment where global communication suddenly collapses. No networks, no signals, no reliable information. Imagine waking up tomorrow and the internet is gone. No news, no GPS, no banking systems, no social media, nothing. For the first time in decades, humanity would be blind. And terrifyingly, experts today already warn that modern civilization is dangerously dependent on digital infrastructure. One massive cyber attack, one solar storm, one AI system failure, and entire countries could fall into chaos within hours. That's what made the prophecy trend worldwide. Because suddenly, it didn't feel impossible anymore. The AI connected this great silence to another repeated symbol hidden throughout Nostradamus' quatrains, the false light. Researchers believe this could represent artificial reality, screens replacing truth, digital illusions becoming more trusted than real life. And honestly, look at the world today. People spend more time online than in reality. Algorithms shape opinions. Virality controls attention. Truth becomes entertainment. Nostradamus may not have predicted technology specifically, but he may have predicted human behavior perfectly. And that's why the prophecy feels terrifyingly modern. But then, the AI made one final discovery. A line hidden inside overlapping quatrains when arranged in a specific mathematical pattern. The researchers called it the last message. And according to the AI reconstruction, it read, "Only when mankind fears its own creation will it remember what it means to be human." That changed everything, because suddenly the prophecy wasn't about doom anymore. It was about awakening. Maybe the warning was never meant to scare humanity. Maybe it was meant to prepare us. Think about it. Every major moment in history forced humanity to evolve. Wars created peace treaties. Disasters created innovation. Collapse created rebirth. So what if this new AI era is humanity's next transformation? A moment where humans must decide. Will technology control us, or will we learn to control ourselves? And maybe that's the true meaning behind Nostradamus' final prophecy. Not the end of humanity. The test of humanity. A test happening right now. Every day AI becomes smarter. Every day reality becomes more blurred. Every day the line between human and machine grows thinner. And somewhere, buried inside centuries-old writings, a man from the 1500s may have seen it coming. Or maybe we simply see our fears reflected in his words. That's a mystery nobody can answer. But one thing is certain. The future humanity feared for centuries is no longer far away. It's already here. So the next time you hear about AI replacing jobs, creating fake realities, or becoming more intelligent than expected, remember this story. Remember the warning. Because whether Nostradamus was a prophet, a genius, or just a man writing poetry, his final message may be more relevant today than ever before. And if the AI interpretation is even partially correct, then humanity is standing at the edge of a turning point that will define the next 100 years. The question is, what happens next? And more importantly, are we ready for it? If you enjoyed this video, subscribe now, because the next prophecy we decode may be even more disturbing than this one. And trust me, you'll want to hear it before everyone else does. Because after the video went viral, something unexpected happened. People began digging deeper into Nostradamus' writings themselves. Forums exploded overnight. TikTok theories gained millions of views. AI researchers, historians, conspiracy channels, everyone suddenly searching for hidden meanings inside centuries-old texts. But among thousands of fake interpretations, one discovery kept resurfacing again and again. A strange symbol. A symbol repeated in multiple quatrains connected to the final age. An eye surrounded by fire. At first, researchers assumed it represented war or divine judgment, but the AI proposed a different interpretation. Surveillance. A world where every movement, every thought, every action becomes visible. And if that sounds impossible, think carefully. Phones track location. Apps monitor behavior. Algorithms predict emotions before people even express them. For the first time in history, machines know humanity better than humans know themselves. That's what made the next AI conclusion terrifying. The prophecy may describe a future where freedom isn't taken by force, but traded away willingly. For convenience, for safety, for comfort. And honestly, isn't that already happening? Every year people share more data, depend more on systems, trust machines more than instincts, step by step, without noticing. That's why the internet became obsessed with one specific line the AI reconstructed. The invisible chain shall be welcomed by the masses. No prisons, no dictators, just invisible systems quietly shaping human life. And the darker the theory became, the more addictive it was to watch. Because deep down, people could see parts of it already becoming real. But then the story took an even stranger turn. One researcher involved in the project allegedly disappeared from public view after claiming the AI uncovered something beyond prediction. According to online rumors, the AI didn't just analyze Nostradamus. It started generating its own forecasts, future scenarios based on historical patterns. And the results were so disturbing, the project was allegedly shut down. Now nobody knows if that story is true. Maybe it's just internet mythology. But sometimes, myths spread because they touch real fears. And humanity right now is full of fear. Fear of losing jobs. Fear of losing truth. Fear of losing control. which is exactly why Nostradamus continues to fascinate people after 500 years, because his prophecies act like mirrors. Every generation sees its own fears inside them. During wars, people saw destruction. During pandemics, people saw disease. Now in the age of AI, people see machines. And maybe that's the real secret behind Nostradamus' predictions. Not supernatural powers, human psychology. He understood something timeless. Humanity will always fear the future, especially when the world changes faster than people can understand it. And right now, change is happening at terrifying speed. AI writes books, creates art, builds businesses, generates human faces that never existed. Soon, it may become impossible to separate reality from fiction entirely. Imagine a future where every memory can be edited, every voice cloned, every truth manipulated. That's not science fiction anymore. That's the direction the world is moving, which is why the final prophecy continues haunting people online, because it forces one terrifying question. If humanity creates something smarter than itself, what happens when it no longer needs us? Some scientists believe AI will help cure disease, end poverty, and transform civilization positively. Others warn it could become humanity's greatest mistake. And somewhere between hope and fear, Nostradamus suddenly feels relevant again. But maybe the scariest part of this entire story isn't the prophecy itself. It's how believable it feels. That's what keeps people watching. Not because they think the world will end tomorrow, but because deep down, they sense humanity is approaching something massive. A shift, a transformation, a point of no return. And whether that future becomes paradise or catastrophe depends entirely on the choices humans make now. Not the machines, us. So maybe Nostradamus' greatest prediction was never about disasters. Maybe it was this, that one day humanity would gain godlike technology before gaining the wisdom to handle it. And honestly, that might be the most dangerous prophecy of all, because the future is no longer centuries away. It's being built right now, line by line, code by code, decision by decision. And somewhere out there, another AI is already learning, watching, evolving, preparing for a future nobody fully understands yet. The question is, when that future arrives, will humanity still be in control?